How's it going, everyone? Alright, I'm still gonna do a different type of video here today. I got some background footage so you guys have something to look at, but this is gonna be more of a discussion video regarding the state of certain things. I have the Legends info site here ready to go so I can help illustrate my points here, but today I'm going to be talking about the Clashing Universes Ultimate Survival Campaign. So this event, I wanted to cover all the buffs they gave out to the Universe Reps team because I do have a lot of thoughts about it, most of it which are not positive. But before I get into the meat and potatoes here, I do want to give out some context for this video. This is being recorded on Tuesday, which is the day before our final Universe Rep buffs for the campaign, which we now know to be Zenkai Yellow Hit and a Platinum equip for Green Kiawe for whatever reason. We do not know their information other than what was revealed in the social media posts, which is very little. For all I know though, those two units could be both top 10 level and jumpstart the team back into a spot where they should be, and this video could age like spoiled milk. I don't know. But I have heavy doubts with that considering the track record they have shown recently and honestly over the course of the year. So with that being said though, I'm just going in with the information and buffs that we have as of this moment. So I want to start off strong with my thesis here. I'm not going to waste any time. This is what I currently think. This monthly campaign is probably the worst event that we had this year, and I don't think there's much competition to that title. Look, I understand that this celebration is not on the same level of importance, we'll say, as the other campaigns this year. We just got off the 8th year anniversary, which was easily the best campaign the game has ever seen. You have a ton of team diversity, you have great buffs all around with old and new unit releases, with a few exceptions here and there. But all that is to say, we're just coming off the heels of a major celebration, and we're in an after party of sorts, so it's not necessarily a big hype deal like it was, let's say, a month or two prior. This month was meant to be more of a low-key release, if anything. I understand why the developers think that in comparison to an anniversary, they can be less airtight when it comes to quality of a buff. But with the releases they have given out recently, I think that this celebration underperforms, even when taking into account the lower quality of standard here. There has been too many questionable and bizarre decisions here.
He does not have base card draw speed in base form. Let me repeat that. He does not have base card draw speed in base form.
That I feel like I need to vocalize to showcase the level of ineptitude shown here for the Universe Reps team. I wanted the team to blossom into a good and viable meta team, but I feel like they did not succeed in that prospect whatsoever. And I wanted to go over the timeline of releases here just to help illustrate my point. So to start off, we're going to start off with the only saving grace of the team so far, which is the Legends 17 and Golden Frieza here. In terms of usability, I think they did a fantastic job with how they handle the character with the meta. They have a purpose regarding their role of being a defensive support that can uber juice anyone in their lineup, and they also got some unique disrupt mechanics that are not too annoying to fight against. Their damage is also pretty solid while not being overly oppressive. I think they're a great unit and could potentially age gracefully for the upcoming festival we are approaching to. Cool character choice that they have represented here with great animations to boot. I have almost zero complaints with this unit in particular. They did a great job here. They also released with a Bobbity supporter too, but bro is so worthless right now that I don't even think he deserves more than a passing mention here. So we're just gonna ignore him, right? But they did a great job with their first summonal buff here. 1 for 1 so far. Now where things get dicey though was the week after when they revealed the first old unit buffs for the campaign, which was the red Zenkai Dispo right over here, and the platinum equip for the yellow Jiren here. If the website can load. There you go. So we have the platinum equip over here. So, alright. I don't know if you guys saw my previous showcases on them, but I just think flat out they did a good enough job with either buff at all. We can take a look at Red Dispo here first because he pisses me off less and he has less things to discuss about. So Red Dispo's MO for your team is to be a long combo damage over time unit that can occasionally draw feints from his blues. I mean, sure, that's fine and all, but they did not give him the numbers to keep up with that type of playstyle. His damage and damage guard numbers specifically are extremely low. I mentioned this in the showcase, but it's just extremely... Actually, I need to make sure that the Zenkai is on so that we can actually showcase this. But the damage guard and the damage values in the starter ability is extremely low. 300% damage for a damage dealer? Are we serious? To give you guys context, I have this guy pulled up right here. This is the Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta unit from a year ago. He has the same amount of damage in his starter ability. Keep in mind, year-old unit, same damage value. I don't know why. It does not help that this character has almost zero defensive mechanics too, with his lower damage guard numbers. 290% for the first 60 counts is just not good enough. So bro can literally get sniped once. He can get sniped once, and there's nothing he can really do about it. The only disrupt he has is this. When hit by enemy arts, he has the Vegito Blue arts cost up or whatever, but it's only for strikes and blasts for whatever reason. It's not for all arts cards. And like I said before, this is his only defensive mechanic. So like I said, if bro gets sniped once, he's done for. Oh man, I could be wrong with my theory here, but I feel like the reason why they held him back so much with the numbers was to account for the support that the 17 Golden Frieza provided. I believe once Golden Frieza and 17 they take their hits or whatever, they give out 50% damage, and in their starter ability they give out an extra 10% damage guard, which is, I can understand to a degree why they held back, but personally I feel like if a team were to start from scratch, they cannot afford to have any flaws regarding any type of values, any type of damage guard, or regular damage inflicted values. They cannot have any flaws with that whatsoever. They need to be kept up to date with the rest of the meta so they can have a chance of being relevant. It's not even a guarantee that they are going to be relevant. It's just a chance for them to be relevant, because otherwise they're just not going to be used at all. But instead, they played safe and gave us a really mediocre Zenkai that doesn't really contribute to the PvP environment at all. I barely see bro in Proud matches as is, let alone in Standard, after the first day. So that goes to show you the quality of a Zenkai that we're dealing with here. So far, that's one bad release and one good release. Mixed ratio, but we can come back for that. Now the next buff, Jiren. Alright, so he got a unique equip, and I have a lot of thoughts regarding the design philosophy here. Which is to be an understatement. Yeah, a lot of thoughts. So they dropped the plat with the intended purpose of making him a damage dealer. So if you look at slot 3 here, or no, slot 2 rather, when hit by enemy arts, apply the following effects occur. Nice typo, by the way. 30% damage for 20 counts. Keep in mind, he has to be the one to take the hits. He has to be the one to take the hits so that he can receive the buffs here. It's not his allies, but him. That alone is already a questionable design choice as is, but they also doubled down on that by giving him low damage guard too. If you look over here, it's 230%. Alright? You combine the support from the legend unit and the equip with his base 65 guard. I'm pretty sure in his base K he has 65, I think, sustained damage cut, but you can just call that damage guard. It's basically the same thing. Bro has 305% damage guard as a defense unit. Keep in mind, the new legend unit, a support by the way, and all the other meta units in this game are at least 330%. Plus, in terms of their damage guard. So what that means is Jiren can eat the first combo fine because he can remove enemy upgrades with his first cover change. I believe if we take a look at Jiren's kit over here, he has the ability to remove upgrades. I think it's right here. He can cancel enemy attribute upgrades for the first time, only once. Granted, he gets it back on his transformation, but it's only once. But then after that, he becomes a generic damage stick. Now, that wouldn't be an issue if Jiren actually facilitated a kit that can warrant a design like that. But he doesn't. Let's just go over all the flaws of a offensive unit that Jiren has over here. He's not immune to enemy debuffs. He can only cancel them with either green or blue. And the green is only for the base form, by the way. He can only cancel attribute downgrades. But if you look for nullifies abnormal conditions, I mean, sure, he's immune to things for 60 counts. I guess that counts for something. And he nullifies element factors for damage sustained for 10 timer counts, which he already gets on his plat anyways. It's an infinite amount for 5 timer counts, which I believe is just way better than the 1 time for 10 counts. But regardless, oops, didn't mean to do that. But he's not immune to debuffs at all. He's not immune to card destruction. He does not kill endurance units from his blue cards or anywhere in his kit. And here's the most egregious part that I like to keep pointing out. He does not have base card draw speed in base form. Let me repeat that. He does not have base card draw speed in base form. It's only on transformation. So if we take a look here, if we look for card draw speed, cred, he only increases his card draw speed when you pop a green card, which he's not guaranteed to draw, by the way. He only gets it for this base form for 20 timer counts, which he cannot stack, in a green card, he cannot stack. So in base form, he does not have base card draw speed. But if we take a look at Jiren full power here, well, actually, no, wait, do it. Wait, what? I think the site is bugged. Because I should be able to look at there it is, yeah. I think we should just go to full power Jiren right here. Alright, perfect. So if we look for card draw speed now, there you go. He increases his arch cost draw speed by 1 level. So, like I said before, he does not have base card draw speed in base form. What the heck? For offensive unit, that is just a guarantee. That's just something that is implemented into the unit as is. But the fact that he doesn't even have that in base form, absolutely bananas. Granted, he gets a full hand on main, but with all the other flaws I mentioned earlier, there's probably a good chance that he does not even get to use all of them because the enemy would just disrupt him anyways. So what typically happens is, if you intend on using Jiren as a damage dealer, he will do at most 3 cards before the enemy can cover change and disrupt all of Jiren's offensive momentum. Oh, and that cover change that used to be a crazy defensive utility? Yeah, most meta units can cancel that now, by the way. Ultra Vegito Blue, the Boo Bros, Ultra Gogeta Blue, Trunks and Gohan, and other offensive units have ways to cancel enemy debuffs on their kits. All of them do. So there's a good chance that when Jiren comes in and takes the cards he needs for his damage, which is his only values, the only values that he has over, like, you know, that's like decent, is his damage numbers. So when he comes in and takes the cards, the enemy can just wipe his debuffs away and just combo the bro until infinitum or until he dies, which is going to be the case most of the time anyways because he has lower damage guard than normal. So he can easily get sniped, even against type neutral units. Oh my god, dude. Just a baffling release on what should have been a guaranteed home run, because he had the potential to give Unireps that defensive wall that could have used for their own teams. But instead, we got damage dealer number 48 for reps, which did not need the help at all, considering the other releases that would soon follow him. So far, that's 2 bad releases as opposed to 1. You can have your thoughts on Jiren being good, but I'm going to put him as a bad release as he did not contribute to the meta at all either. You saw him maybe a couple times during the first week, but outside of that, nobody's really using him, other than maybe Proud, but nobody cares about Proud. Which leads me to the next set of units released for this celebration. Yep, we're already in the next week already. We got the Sparking God Topo and the Legend Kaioken Goku. Now, if we take a look at Goku here, I will say, before we get into his kit though, as a character choice, I'm not the biggest hater. I know his animations are subpar, but him as an individual character choice, I think it's fine. Like, we haven't had a good Kaioken Goku in a while, and you can still argue that to a degree, which we will go over, but we haven't had a Kaioken Goku from this moment in particular since the Ultra unit back in, I believe it's 2021. So in terms of character choice, I think he's fine. The animations could be better, obviously, but him as a character is fine. We know that, I know the community wanted Topo to be the Legend unit, and, you know, granted, we did get him, but as a Sparking unit, but I think the character choice is fine regardless. In terms of the kit though, he can, quotation marks, can look like a really good unit, but he has issues that basically affected the Jiren as well. If we, I keep referencing Jiren here, but he has issues that affected Jiren as a damage dealer as well, albeit to a less egregious degree. So the way I see Kaioken Goku is as a burst damage dealer. You come in with him, I mean, ideally after 17 golden frames, they take their hits, and then they swap into him to build up his damage from his gauge with little downtime, so you just spam the cards, and you finish off your opponent with either his legend action or his ultimate, which grants massive damage with uncountable type neutral. In theory, that kid should be a solid damage dealer that reps can utilize as their main source of DPS. He should be the Oonga Booga caveman burst damage dealer that kills everyone. Sure, that's supposed to be the idea. I have 2 main issues with him though. 1, his base damage values, again, as we saw with Dispo, is extremely low. 350% for his starter ability is abysmally low. It's crazy. It's brutal. Considering his playstyle to burst with cards, he needs the ramp up with the gauge, which, if I remember correctly, I think it's 50%. Yeah, it's 50% for 10 timer counts, but it's locked behind the gauge. So you can only do this around, I believe it's 4 times per gauge. I mean, you can refill it back with your main ability, but in reality, you're just going to use that gauge for the ultimate anyways. So he only really has 4 cards to really ramp up. And I don't know, dude. The way I see it is he essentially is playing catch up with his first 2 cards in use. So you use the first 2 cards, he gets 100% damage. So he gets 100% damage, and then when you add it to the starter ability, then it becomes 450%, which is standard. That's just standard for basically any offensive unit. Vegeta Blue, Blue Bros, Gogeta Blue, they all have those damage values, like somewhere around that area. That's like the baseline standard. And also, keep in mind, he does not have any other ways to increase his damage. He really doesn't. Gogeta Blue, Vegeta Blue, Blue Bros, they all stack with their damage inflicted with their cards. And Kaioken Goku really doesn't have anything like that. The only type of stacking he has is this, technically, because he gets his gauge back and he gets damage. So instead of, what is it, like 50% damage, you can technically get 80% damage with 1 green card, which is actually pretty nice. But when it comes to the strike and blast cards, which most offensive units, they stack on their cards, like on their normal cards anyways, that's just baseline standard. He does not do that. All he does is he debuffs the enemy health restoration by 20%, which granted can be pretty good if he has enough firepower to kill them. So I don't know, dude. the low damage inflicted values really is screwing him over. And like I said before, he doesn't have many ways to stack his damage at all. So, I don't know. Alright, so the damage dealer needs cards to build up. Big whoop. You spam the cards anyways for a big move finish. All offensive units do that to a degree, which, fair enough. But that leads me to my second issue with him. He does not have any protection from card destruction or debuffs. So your initial first thought probably is, well, yeah, actually he's immune to debuffs when he uses a card, which technically it is true. If we go to his kit here, I believe it's, yeah, this one right here, nullifies attribute downgrades for 3 counts. So he has protection with debuffs. I mean, sure. But what I mean by protection is I also mean from the standby debuffs as well. When Kaioken Goku is not on the field, he can still be affected by team-wide debuffs. So Vegito Blues and the Boobros cost up, their arch cost up, the Gohan and Trunks' -2 card draw speed, all that nonsense is still applied to the Goku when he enters in. The only time Goku can cancel his debuffs is on main ability. So I believe if we can look over here, right here, cancel attribute downgrades and abnormal conditions. And if we take a look at attribute downgrades, this is the only line that helps him cancel his debuffs. It's only on main ability. So with the limited cancellation of the debuffs, he gets screwed over with the debuffs, which is absolutely crazy considering his main role is to be a burst time damage dealer. So the rest of the time, he's still going to feel all the debuffs from standby, which impacts his low combo potential as is. That add on top of the fact that brother does not have any source of key or card protection at all. He does not have any type of protection when it comes to that. And he just does not feel fun to use at all. It feels like he's never in the optimal situation, quote unquote. He has something holding him back, which for a unit of his rarity does not feel good to use at all. Reps needed a great damage per second unit. Like they needed a great damage dealer to help round out the team. But his inconsistency with his damage just killed any momentum that the team might have had, which it just sucks to see. Another thing I wanted to point out in particular, all the other Legends units, I feel like didn't have as much of an issue with this as Kaioken Goku. But specifically, when he faces off against a yellow unit, it feels like Kaioken can't really do anything. He does not have any type of way to get over the type disadvantage, which is absolutely insane to think about, because all the other damage dealer LFs that we've gotten basically over the past year or so have ways to overcome that type disadvantage. They have ways to go type neutral, but the only way Goku can go type neutral is on his ultimate, which you have to build up in order for the ultimate to do good damage anyways. So it just defeats the purpose of him being a damage dealer if he can't handle a type disadvantage unit. It just makes no sense. It really makes no sense. Like I said before, all the other Legends units that have been offense-based have not had this issue. Piccolo, Super Vegito, Gohan and Trunks, all those units, even mini Super Saiyan 3 Diamond Goku, as much of a shitter as he is on release. Actually, I shouldn't say as much of a shitter. He actually had a good kit. It's just the problem is you have to run it on the Diamond team. But even with him in particular, he did not have as much of an issue against yellow units as Kaioken Goku does, which is absolutely ridiculous to think about. So, as for my rating for him, I see the good in him. Obviously, he can still do pretty good damage when you ramp him up. Potential man, I know, but even with that into consideration, he technically has one of the highest damage peaks in the game regardless. So he still can do pretty good damage. But in his current state, he's more mediocre than amazing, which I just rounded out to be a bad release, especially for his status as a legend unit. So right now we have 3 bad releases as opposed to 1 good release. Not a great ratio so far. And for the last of the units here, the last of the buffs here before the data download for this week is the God Topo. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't really used him all that much. I have the brother at 13 stars, and it still feels like he just does good. He just does a good performance at best. He has solid disrupt, he's a tanky-ish unit on cover change. He has a niche ability to kill revival units, which is, I guess, is interesting, but it is a pain in the ass to have the optimal setup for, because I believe you need to have basically a full hand of cards before you can use the main for the max amount of buffs, which is just a pain in the ass to set up. It also doesn't help that since he is a 1% defensive unit with nerf stats, you're only really going to get your value from him when he has a higher star level, so like maybe 9 to 14 stars, which for 99% of the community is just not that feasible right now. It's literally the most resale 1% unit, so I doubt anyone is saving their Z power for God Topo. I mean, yeah, I don't have much else to say about him. He's just your typical 1% sparking, which is usually not that impactful enough for a top 10 list, which is something that reps really needed for their third unit to be a solid team, but he's just good at best. He's not bad, he's not great either, he's just good, which I feel is just not enough. I'll be generous though and say that he's a good enough release. So if we take into consideration the ratio here, that is 2 good releases and 3 bad ones. Now, I don't know if you guys are mathematicians here, but I can confidently say that is not a good ratio. As for the stuff we haven't seen in this campaign though, oh my gosh, so much missed potential here. Were the LF Plats or Zenkais? As far as I know, we have 2 premium legend units and 5 1% support buffs. We had Dispo, we have Kiawe and Hit. This is going to be coming up for this drop for, I believe it's tonight. Kiawe and Hit, and then we have Dispo, and then we have Topo and Jiren. That's 5. Reps had plenty of options for LFs to choose from. We could have a Zenkai Evo Plat, a Jiren second equipment for, I don't know, Team Bulk, a Rev UI equip for a good second life protection on the team. Something, man. Where are the substantial buffs here? My theory is they're trying to make reps more of a proud team, but with the state of the units as it is, I just feel like it's just not good enough to run in there either, considering that all the meta units there are used in there too. So like Vegeta Blue, Blue Bros. What do you think Zenkai Dispo is going to do against Blue Bros? Huh? What do you think it is going to do with him? Nothing. Literally nothing. So where's the actual buffs here to round out the team for standard? Are they saving it for Fest? I have no idea what their obsession with holding their hand is here, considering the state of the team itself. The team, as it is right now, is being held together with duct tape and tier boosts. Now, granted, some of the tier boosts were good for their seasons. You got Z tier Hits, you got S tier Kefla, and I believe for this season, you got the A tier Evolution Blue Vegeta and Kaioken Goku unit. They're all solid options to run, but those are only temporary solutions. 2 of those units I mentioned before are not even boosted anymore. Not for this season. So what's the point of running the older characters past their boost season? None. It's just none. There's no purpose. And man, it's just really affected the dwindling longevity and future for this team. It's just sad to see what the team is right now. I wanted Universe Reps to go back to their glory days, even if it's just only for this month. I don't care if for a monthly team that Universe Reps is only good for this year. I don't care. I just wanted the team to be usable at least, because the team hasn't been usable since 2023. Legends Fest 2023 was the last time Universe Reps was a great team to run. Not just good, because Universe Reps right now, I believe it's just good. It's not great, it's not bad, it's just usable. Which, you know, it's good for like, I don't know, like BR20 or whatever, but if you're planning to go top ranks, this shit's unusable. It's just unusable. But anyways, That's mostly what I got for this video. Let me know what your thoughts about this campaign down in the comment section below. I'm curious on the others' perspectives for this celebration. The Universe Reps mains, let me know how you guys think about this celebration as well. I believe they didn't do a good enough job to justify this month-long campaign at all. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. But yeah, that's gonna be it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.